Okay, hey guys, it's Matt here again, and this time we're going a little bit deeper. This is a carry-on video from the last video in relation to nailing your calories, your daily calories, to achieve your results, your body transformation results. So what we've done so far is identified how many calories per day that you need. Okay, and we're talking about the calories that you need to actually lose weight predominantly here. So once we've done that, then we just simply need to know, well, where are those calories going to come from? Okay, what ratio of the macronutrients from our food do we need? And the reason for this is like we talked about, or like I talked about in the video on somatotyping. Every person metabolizes and utilizes the different macronutrients, the three different macronutrients differently. Okay, so we're just going to dive straight in. Just a quick recommendation. So obviously, when we were identifying the daily calorie needs, we were using a baseline of your body weight in pounds times 12. Obviously, a few little caveats to that. If you're not doing the 3 times a week training, then we're maybe looking at 10 or 11. But I highly recommend you start with 12 as a baseline. And what I recommend before you even go into actually doing the my recommendations here is actually using an app, a bit of software called MyFitnessPal. You can download it on your smartphone. Whatever smartphone you have, you should be able to download the app MyFitnessPal, and this basically allows you to input your food intake and understand how close you are to those daily calorie needs. Okay, and the reason I say that is because what you may have done in the last video is done your daily calorie needs and then subtracted the amount of calories that you want to lose in order to lose the weight. However, you might find that pounds times 12 might even be below where you are currently anyway. Okay, so if you were to subtract a further 400 or 500 calories off of that, okay, that's going to be a massive drop in calories for you. And so just remember, going right back to the start, we don't want to do these, we don't want to be part of this kind of drastic restriction. I'd much rather you start to reduce your calories by no more than 400 to 500 than what you're used to. Okay, so by actually looking at downloading MyFitnessPal and actually inputting, an average of the last 3 days. So if you look at the last 3 days and you input those, find out how many calories you had on each of those days, divide that by 3, you'll get a good average, and then you can compare that to your daily calorie needs. If your daily calorie needs is less, then that might be a good starting point. Okay. Now, once we have that goal, that daily calorie goal to lose weight, then we can get clearer on where those macronutrients are going to come from. So they're going to come from proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and yeah, sure, there will be some maybe little caveats on the ratios that we're using, depending on your body type, depending on your activity level, etc., and depending on your current level of leanness. But for simplification, hopefully you've learned by now, I like to try and keep things as simple as possible. So I'm going to give you a set standard ratio to start with, and we can always make kind of changes from there. So let's go through the 3 steps. There's only 3 steps to working out your macronutrient needs. You can probably guess what those 3 steps are. Step 1 is establish your protein requirements per day. So how much protein do you need to come from your calories? So I'm actually going to use an example of a 160-pound female. Okay, well, it doesn't have to be female, but 160-pound person. Okay, so to work out your protein requirements, we're going to go for a calculation of 0.8 times body weight in pounds. Okay, so for a 160-pound person, that comes to 128. So we're looking at grams. So that's 128 grams of protein per day should be your target. Now, you also want to work out, well, how many calories is that? It's very simple to work that out because there are 4 calories in every gram of protein. So that equals 512 calories from protein. So that's done. Protein done. 512 and 128 grams. Okay. Step 2. Establish your fat needs. How much fat do we take? So we're going to go for 0.4. Okay, 0.4 times your body weight in pounds. So using this example of a 160-pound person, that is 64 grams. Okay, the calories will be different. So you're actually going to times it by 9. Okay, because there are 9 calories for every gram of fat. So in this case, this person would be taking 576 calories from fat, which is 64 grams. Okay, so pretty simple so far. Hopefully you stuck with me. So then the last thing we need to do is establish your carbohydrate needs. Okay, so to do that, it's just a case of just working out what have you got left. Okay, so it's the protein calories that we've worked out plus the fat calories you've worked out, and then you simply minus, you take off that figure from your total daily calorie target. Okay, so 512 was the protein, 576 was the fats, that equals 1088, and the daily calorie target for this person was 1420. Just a note on that, that's including that's including a 500 calorie deficit for this person. Okay, so you simply minus the daily calorie target by the protein and fat combined, and that leaves 332 calories of carbohydrates. Okay, so that's just to work out how many grams of carbs. That's the same as the protein, you just divide it by 4. So there are 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. So in summary, this person, 160-pound person, would require a daily protein amount of 128 grams, fat 64, and carbohydrates 83.